And welcome back for a quick tour of my big red sketchbook. This is a big monster that I bound very poorly back in 2014. As you can see, that's the date. And I didn't finish it because the book didn't do too well. It started to come apart. So I start with some watercolor and plans for a poster I did for a podcast, The Best Show with Tom Sharpling. A lot of these notes in here are plans for that poster, which I'll show you here. I tried doing an alphabet of donuts, which I never used for anything, I don't think. I just ended up redrawing them into words later. I didn't want them to get messed up by touching each other when the book's closed. Poop House. So the map that I was doing for Tom Sharpling, the Best Show box set, had all these funny buildings that of a make-believe land called Newbridge, New Jersey, and there was a jeans store called Denim Clad Dad. This is for a poster I did for a magazine, which you can actually buy on my website. Kern Pharmaceuticals, that's from that map. This is from a vacation that I take every year with my family on this little island off of the coast of Maine and New Hampshire. These are plein air drawings. I just sit in a chair, a little stool outside, and I draw stuff around there. I think this is the first year that I really started to do it. I actually redrew this one into a larger painting, which is, I'll just show you here. They have a marine lab for the kids, like a bio lab, and this is some of the stuff I saw under the microscope that you could take a sample of water by the pier, and they had a box turtle. This is again for that map. This was for Lucky Peach magazine back when they existed. They had me design a drug lord's house made out of gingerbread and candy, that then they actually had it built by a real chef, and then they had children destroy it on video. It's pretty cool. This is more stuff for the Newbridge. This was a project that I never did called The Fart Knocker. I think it was going to be a comic book maybe, or I don't know what the heck. But I guess you zoomed out, because I started doing the map and I was like, oh, I want to do more maps, and then you zoom into a neighborhood and you do zoom into two sides of a town, I guess, and then inside of a building, and then the control center of the building or a bedroom of the house, and then I guess remember that video game Gorf? That's in the nuclear power plant, and then that's the bedroom, and then the person on the bed, and inside their brain, and then more inside their brain, and their cochlea, and then brain, and I don't know what the heck. Never happened. This was for that map. This was called Insubordinates. I think it was a sub shop on the map. And this is just for fun, watercolor. I don't know what I was doing. I started to get into, I don't know what I'm doing, more doodling. That's of course the flying spaghetti monster for no reason, in pen and ink. And more pen and ink drawings with booby plants and murder worms. I like how this is like a purple ink. I really like how dark that is. And this is a blue ink. I don't know if it shows up on camera as that color, but it's fun to draw in those inks. I think that's a worm eating and then pooping or farting or something. This was for Young Guns, for the Art Directors Guild in New York. Asked me to do something for them. That didn't turn into a thing. This was just another sort of a long-term doodle. Someone mowed a penis into the lawn. I was fooling around. I mentioned earlier I used to make my own clothes in a company called Urine Style. So that would be like a stamp I was going to make, like a postage stamp, but just never did. Let's see. Doodling while listening to that podcast, The Best Show. This is just testing out the color, more color doodling. Giraffe coming out of a cupcake, a dirty turd, wormhole, ripe pimple. That guy's got a giant pimple on his head. Toilet donut eyeball. I don't know what that is. Oh, so I started to do a Kickstarter for my big hospital poster, which is here. And these are sketches for it. This is just doodling with a brush pen. It's fun to get a brush pen and play around. I was imagining the flying spaghetti monster, but instead of spaghetti, it was macaroncini, which I think is like a flat noodle. The flying macaroncini, or he's stationary. I guess he's not flying. More doodles and a lot of swear language. I think I was experimenting if I could watercolor over the brush pen, and it worked pretty well. And this I actually started doing some early botanical stuff at my parents' place in Florida. They had a orchid. More plans for something that I probably never did. Bunk bed, boner hole, and this was for the big hospital Kickstarter. Goo. It's all real smeary because the book was big and not bound well, so it kind of like moved around and the pages rubbed against each other. So this was also pen and ink. This was for that big hospital Kickstarter. I didn't do that much, and this is for someone in Korea asked me to do some stuff. I don't know what this means, but they asked me to do a few of these, so I did. This was more Kickstarter. This is watercolor and pen and ink. It says rewards for my Kickstarter. Custom donuts. I sometimes offer custom donuts for sale, or I'll draw a donut for you. Testify. Oh, this was for my big hospital. I had friends who are doctors stand in their hospital and talk about how my big hospital poster helps them find their way around their hospital, which is ridiculous, but that's why I thought it was funny. Prince, never finished that. This was for a drone part of the video. For my Kickstarter. Oh, gross. That's like a hemorrhoid prolapse or something. I did this is like an illustration notebook, geez. This was for a poster for a food magazine where they were sourcing all of the ingredients for a specific sandwich at a deli. And so some of these went into the poster. I think I was mad at somebody, so I wrote douche, and then I just kind of went crazy with it. That's pen and ink and watercolor. more notes for the poster about sourcing the food, trying to figure out how to design it. More surgical boner bed stuff. That stuff. This was an early version of She's Such a Super Lady, which is a big giant drawing I did. More plans for the poster. That's kind of boring. More anatomical doodles. Messing around. That's supposed to be, I think, the one Doctor Who guy I ever liked, Ken Baker, as a young boy. Oh, this is back at that. This is a whole year back at the island. I guess I didn't work on my sketchbook that much. So more island drawing and sketches. I did a bigger version of this somewhere. Clovers on the island. Oh, that's funny. So this little drawing turned into this giant drawing. Yeah. That's like a house from the island, just in pencil. I like that one. I don't know what this is. Oh, this is, I helped a friend who has a little bee hive farm thing. I don't really like those. And that's it, because book started to fall apart a little bit. In fact, I have all these repairs, which is ridiculous. And partly because it was just too big, and because I didn't do a good job at binding it, and now I do a much more careful job.